guys, and welcome back to the best Simon Miller impression from What Culture that you've seen here on YouTube. Why? Ow. Here's why. So I don't often do sort of call out videos, if you like. I've done a few, you know, and mostly because I got an opinion. But also, if I feel there's things that need a bit more clarification and a bit more, you know, things clearing up or whatever, then I'll put my 2 cents in. But when it comes to this one in particular, now this one, I will let you know, guys, you know, if you are watching this video, I do sometimes attack things, and I will attack them aggressively sometimes, depending on what the topic and so on is and what you're talking about. And this one is on about the PSB7, you know, and the thing which you keep stating is a piece of garbage and a wasted time, I adamantly disagree. While yes, communication does not happen 100% of the time, it just doesn't. If it happened 100% of the time, it would be considered normal, not paranormal. That's why it's called paranormal. There's a few things in this video where they say that every spirit box is the same. No, it isn't. There's even some devices which are not even meant for spirit communication, such as the Jensen hacked radio, for example. There's manual scan radios. There's different incarnations, not the S-Box, can't stand that thing. You know, there's many different incarnations, same kind of principle, yes, with some of them, you know, with ones that are specifically designed for spirit communication. So like this device I've gone over so many times, but I'm going to just reiterate some points in this video because the way that these guys come across, it doesn't seem like they've ever used a PSB7. It seems like only what they've seen online, and then, you know, it's all right to have your skeptical beliefs. That's completely cool. It's cool to have your skeptical beliefs. Shows that you're open mind and so on. But this one just doesn't sound like you're being skeptical. It doesn't sound like you're testing. It doesn't sound like that. It just sounds like this is what I believe, and then, you know, you're just pulling a few things out of your ass. That's just what it seems like. So anyway, I am going to attack this, alright? And if this thing was a piece of garbage, I wouldn't continue to use it for 3 years later, okay? So without further ado, let's just get on with this train wreck and this poorly lit video.
This wonderful device.
The SB7, also known as the Spirit Box.
Or the Shack Hack, or Frank's Box. There's many, many terms for the same piece of garbage. What we have here is a device that runs through AM or FM radio frequencies at a fraction of a second. I think it's about 1/4 of a second that it stays on each channel, and then quickly skips over them. Now what we're going to give you real quick is an audio example of what you're listening to. Some people believe is they're able to pull out voices, ask questions, get intelligent responses from the audio that you're about to hear. As you can hear now, you're hearing the skipping across all of the different stations.
Well, yes, I assume that you're using 100 milliseconds on FM, but the thing is, how you state it in that video sounds like that's all it sounds like, that is exactly what you're going to be listening to all the time. That's just very quick. No, it isn't. There's different features on the PSB7 which you have very conveniently overlooked for this video, very conveniently. There is not just one scan rate. There is many different scan rates. You've got FM, which goes from 100 to 350, and you've got AM, which goes from 200 milliseconds, which is very fast, to 500 milliseconds, which is the slowest speed. You can do it in forward sweep, or you can do it in reverse sweep. But reverse sweep does not reverse the audio. A lot of people make that mistake. It doesn't reverse audio. It's just scanning backwards. You know, that's all it does. So you don't make any point to actually show that. Look. Okay, now that is scanning 100 milliseconds, right? That sounds an awful lot like what you're doing right now. But if I do this, look, what's this? It goes slower. Slower again. And again. Look how slow that's going. Now, this is just my theory and just from my own experience. But from my own experience, it just seems to me that spirits often try and I feel like the slow scan rate is better for communication. Just my opinion, and I seem to get good results from using a slower speed. Just from my experience. Fast speed, yes, of course it can happen. Of course it can. You know, is it possible radio bleeds can come through? Yes, of course it can. But here's the thing. When you're using devices like this, you're going for direct, all right, direct answers to your questions. What's on my shirt? Batman, things like that. Direct questions, which are direct response to what you have said. What is my name? Jack Green. My name is Jack Green, and you're looking for clear communication, okay? Not gobbledygook mess. You're going for clear communication, clear human speech. Or we don't know spirits are human. We don't know that they are. They could be fairies, they could be aliens, could be alternate reality beings, it could be anything. We don't know what they are because there's no proof of what they are. But can communication come out of a PSB7? Yes. Can they come out of other things such as the Jensen Hacked radio? Yes. Can they come out of a manual scan radio? Yes. It can come out of any device, in my opinion. So anything that is a radio, I believe you can have any degree of success with. But obviously, when I say success, spirit communication does not happen 100% of the time. It just doesn't. I wish it did, but it doesn't. Sometimes I go 2 weeks of doing sessions and I get nothing. But it could just be on that one day or that one night that communication comes through. So you're going for the clear communication, you're going for the direct communication, but also you're not testing. You're not truly testing. It just seems like you're trying to use your own sort of skepticism and just very conveniently gloss over what the PSB7 can do just to fit with your own argument, which, to be honest, is weak as hell.
And, a voice just came through. Was that my dead Uncle Tim? No, because he's not dead, he's alive. And so what you can see here is you can't really make anything out from these
Oh, I think I just heard butt.
jumbled noises.
If you can't make anything out, why not set it on a slower speed? And obviously, if you can't make anything out, you're not going to be able to make everything out. That's why you record stuff and you look on playback. And if it doesn't sound clear, then it's just not clear and you don't know what it says. But again, you're going for the clear communication, are you not? It just seems you're very conveniently just glossing over stuff, If you tested the PSB7 every which way, back and forth, upside down, forwards, backwards, missionary, whatever. I don't know what I'm saying. But you get my point. If you truly test it and showed what it can do in just a single video, then, I'm not guaranteeing you'll get results because some people will probably just pick this up and use it one time and just go, oh, I didn't get anything, it's a piece of junk. No, you're not going to get spirit communication all the time. Otherwise, it'd be called normal, not paranormal. You get my point?
Unless you're trying to figure out something and shoehorn in a response to a question you had.
So let's give an example.
What is your name?
Oh, I think I heard Joe.
I heard Phil.
Joe?
Of course, there is, lots of people, which, yes, are people guilty, I'm sure I've been guilty in the past, because our brains are so intelligent that sometimes we will hear stuff and, it sounds like something, but then someone else may think of it as nothing. But, I suppose over time you end up getting, I'm not sure the word is, accustomed to, knowing what you're looking for and so on, which is clear communication. And for me, if it's not clear, then I can't really consider it as anything. But obviously, you're going for clear communication, but it doesn't come out clear 100% of the time. When it comes to Spirit Box sessions, you get what you get, and that's it. But you're going for clear communication. I will badger on about this for this whole video. Clear communication, all right? Direct communication to your questions. And if it's clear and direct, I don't really understand how you can really disprove that, Obviously, like I said, can radio blips come through? Yes, of course they can. Not everything's going to be 100% clear. I can only pick out really a few times, and I say a few, during the whole time I've used a PSB7 or any Spirit Box device, where I've had really clear communication, stupendously clear. Like there was a time, which you guys might remember, when I was doing a Spirit Box session and I was telling whatever or whoever they are on the PSB7, I think it was the PSB7, or it might have been the Jensen. Anyway, I was asking the question saying, what I do is I record these Spirit Box sessions, I record you talking, and then I put it up on YouTube so people can see it. Do you understand that? Does that make sense? And I get a very clear yes to my question. And if you're asking like number questions, stuff like that, can it possibly be a coincidence for a number question, something like that? Yes, of course it can be. But it can't continue to happen all the time. So this is just, that's my little point there. Let's just swiftly move on.
I heard nothing. Oh, I hear a
That
child
was a disembodied
screaming.
scream. No, it was garbage.
Well, let me just show you how cheap this thing really is. Without this external speaker, there's this speaker, and it's playing right now.
If you listen really carefully,
Closer.
you can just barely hear it.
Oh, man, that was painful.
So this is a piece of garbage.
So the thing is garbage just because, look, I will agree with you, the speaker on this thing can be bloody crap. I will give you that. And sometimes it can be very difficult to hear. I'll grant you that. It's pretty quiet, especially when it comes to, quiet mode on the PSB7, which you can only do on AM, which if you don't know what quiet mode is, basically it cuts out like that faux white noise, that's, you hear on AM, which you can only use on AM, but except it does cut out a few radio frequencies, So that's what that does. But, calling the thing a piece of garbage just because it doesn't sound loud enough for you because the speaker's crap, easy way to fix that problem. Easy way. Look, it's a speaker. As long as it's got an aux port, you're good. As long as it's got an aux port, you're golden. So, just calling the thing a piece of junk just because it doesn't sound loud enough because the speaker's rubbish is a very easy way to fix that problem. I'm sorry, but God, your arguments are weak.
But it is often put on some paranormal investigation shows and used as, really high-end evidence. But in actuality, you're just wasting your time. Because what's happening is basically the crowd mentality. You have a group of people around a circle listening to this garbledy-gook and trying to pull intelligent information out of it. If everyone asks a question such as, what is your name, which is a very common one, if you listen to this long enough, someone is going to hear something that it resembles a name of a person, or even a name of a place. And then they kind of go down the path of, I heard Ohio. Are you from Ohio? Do you know someone in Ohio? Until you get some other garbledy-gook response that could be considered an intelligent response. And you spend hours wasting your time listening to what is essentially just radio chatter that is being gone over very quickly, and you're trying to process with your brain an intelligent response.
Again, you can easily just use a slower speed. You don't have to use a fast scan rate, for God's sake. Yes, obviously, can you do it with people? Yeah, you could probably do it with however many people you choose to, but I often do my sessions by myself. I often go to places by myself. Just me. And obviously, not everybody's going to hear the same thing as what you hear. And most of the time, 80% of any responses and communication is on playback, on review. You're not going to hear everything in real time. You just won't. I wish I could hear everything in real time. And some people ask me, why don't you respond like to spirits every single time they speak? Because I probably didn't hear it in real time when it was happening. The crowd mentality that... Again, you're going off the whole pareidolia side of things, the pareidolia side of things, like audio pareidolia, like hearing something, and, your brain, because it's so intelligent, tries to make something out of essentially nothing, pareidolia. It's kind of a little bit like the same as, when you got visual pareidolia, which is like, there's a pattern in the carpet, if you stare at that pattern long enough, you'll probably start to see stuff, you know what I mean? Probably start to make shapes and so on. But you're going off the whole pareidolia things, the pareidolia side, that it only comes out of pareidolia just because it's not clear. Again, you're going for clear communication, clear direct communication. You're going for that, are you not? And if you're not, what exactly are you going for? Are you going there just to listen to essentially just nothing? Somebody throw me a bone here, boys, because I am really struggling here. And also just another thing which I forgot to add just on that point. But when it comes to like radio chatter and stuff like that, yes, of course you're going to get some radio chatter. Of course you will. It's a friggin' radio. If I tuned it the right way, obviously, if I'm just flipping through the stations, just tapping like the buttons on like reverse or forward sweep, I'm sure I'll land on a station at some point. Of course you will. But then people do tests, to see... how many, just to see if somebody gets a response, which Dark Paranormal Investigator did a test on this, did a test to see how long a spirit response lingers over certain frequencies and so on. Just so, is it on one frequency? Is it on 2? Is it on 3? Is it on 4? 5? You get my point. But again, you're going for direct communication. If you're not getting direct communication, you'll probably just get radio. Okay? You probably will, or you'll just get, again, gobbledygook. You know? But again, you're going for that clear, direct communication. Are you not? And if you're not, what are you doing it for?
It is an example of what we call audio pareidolia. But in this instance, essentially making sense out of nonsense. You're listening to audio that doesn't make any sense to your brain, and your brain is trying to fit something that doesn't make sense into it. So you're listening for an intelligent response to a question. What is your name? So you're listening for anything that might be a name. If one person says to hear something, many other people will be able to fit that in. We see that all the time with electronic voice phenomena that we play. If we tell you what it says, you will almost undoubtedly hear that. But independently, you most likely won't come up with it.
So people hearing the same thing, right, okay. Well, here's an easy thing, which anybody, even people that subscribe to my channel, even people, anybody who watches any kind of spirit box session or investigation or whatever, is a really simple, easy thing you can do. And people do it in my videos all the time, because maybe I hear something differently. What you can do, put your hand over the subtitles, listen, and see what you hear. It's very easy. Anybody can do it. Again, you're going for clear communication. If it doesn't sound like nothing, just leave it. It probably is nothing. But again, you're going for the clear communication. I can't answer back to a spirit when it doesn't sound like nothing, because I don't know what I'm responding to if I hear something in real time. Hence why when something comes out of a spirit box which is not clear, I often don't say anything or respond, or I go, I'm sorry, can you repeat that, because I didn't hear what it said. You know, I'm not going to respond to something that isn't clear. I don't understand, you know. You just don't seem like you have really tested this out. You don't seem like you've ever done spirit communication. Like, obviously, I'm assuming because of your channel, you probably have. But it just seems like you're just very trying to conveniently gloss over a lot of stuff. And when you're talking about pareidolia, yes, pareidolia exists. Of course it does. It is a bitch. And it is a pain in the ass. But it's stupendously helpful at the same time, because it helps you determine what is the difference between clear and what is a garbled mess, all right? That is the difference, and I don't think it takes a video to explain that, when if it does, then God help you.
And so that's why these devices are just not useful for trying to find actual evidence or data surrounding something that's paranormal. You can never prove that anything that comes out of this device or anything like it is paranormal in nature, because it is man-made and it's using radio frequencies that are known to be out there to determine if something is paranormal or not.
Come on, mate. I mean, what you've said here is bafflingly wrong. God, have you ever used this thing? Be honest. Have you ever used this? Because it doesn't seem like you have. It doesn't seem like you have. Bloody hell. Not useful? Why have I been using it for 3 years then? Why have many people been using this bloody thing for years? I'm sure nobody would have it if it didn't work. It doesn't work 100% of the time. Alright? It doesn't. I'll give you that. Again, you're going for that clear communication, that direct communication. Are you not? Your arguments here, are not very strong, mate, okay? And impossible to deem if it's like paranormal. If I'm asking a question, if I say, you know, if I ask a question and I get a response back straight away, let's just say I do, and I just say, can you tell me my grandmother's name? And it comes right back out, Queenie. That's her name. Are you going to tell me that's on the radio? Or if we only have English radio stations here. I say, can you say, I love you in German? Let's just say I get that in German. Ich liebe dich. I hope if there's any German watchers or listening to that, I hope I said I love you right in German. And if that comes out directly after my question, how can you not deem that as paranormal? Well, maybe you could deem it as unexplained, you know? Is it like something could be a coincidence? Yes, of course they could. But the only thing is with the paranormal, we get what we get. And we can't prove if it is a spirit talking. We can't prove if they're dead. We can't prove that they're aliens. We can't prove they're alternate reality beings. We can't prove they're freaking fairies. We can't prove anything. It's like the same, we can't prove that we're talking directly to a specific spirit. You know, we can't prove that. Some people do it all the time, saying, Martin Luther King speaks to me. Well, they can't prove that's Martin Luther King, can they? Of course they can't. It could be a person on the other side. You know, if they are dead people, it could be a person on the other side who is impersonating Martin Luther King. That's a possibility. But the fact that you're coming out and saying that this PSB7 or any spirit box device that is capable of communication, anything can come out of like a manual scan, you know, a hacked radio, which is not even designed for spirit communication, like the Jensen spirit box. That's one of my favorite spirit boxes, and it's not even a spirit box, and I've had amazing communication out of that. This thing is designed for spirit communication. And it works. It doesn't work all the time, but it works. But the fact that you're saying that this thing is garbage when there is many sessions, and even many of mine as well. Yes, I'm tooting my own horn a bit, which will say otherwise to your arguments, but yet you don't even state at any point the possibility that, you know, something could come out of a PSB7. It doesn't seem like you're willing to even test it right. It doesn't even seem like you're willing to show what the PSB7 can use. You're pretty much saying this is what the PSB7 does and it does nothing else. That is pretty much what you're trying to say, and then trying to chalk up anything that comes out as pareidolia when it blatantly isn't, and I've got many sessions which can prove otherwise. And even guys like you got Order of Magnitude, Dark Paranormal Investigator, anybody who uses like the PSB7, you know, who is looking for that clear communication can say otherwise, okay? So that what you're saying here to me is just a very weak argument. You don't make any attempt to actually, you know, like I said, show what it can do. Nothing. It doesn't seem like you've ever used a spirit box before. It doesn't even seem like you have. And if I'm asking questions and I get direct answers constantly, and I get a direct answer or maybe an unlikely response, but which is very direct to me, you know, for example, I don't even understand how you can consider that not paranormal. I really can't. Are you going to tell me every intelligent spirit response is just pareidolia and it's just coincidence? Again, there's many sessions on this channel saying otherwise. And if you want, if you even comment, I will link you a good few hundred of them, okay, which will say otherwise. But mind you, if you actually went forward, tested it many a times, and tested the PSB7 every which way possible, such as forwards, backwards, upside down, left, right, missionary, whatever. If you tested it all the way out, tested it, I don't know, maybe locations, you know, at home, whatever you've done, whatever it may be. If you fully tested it out and did everything you possibly could to test the PSB7 and you still come up with this conclusion, then fine. I feel like I could respect your opinion. Just your opinion. You know, I can be fine with that, respect your opinion. But it just seems that you're willing to gloss over things when it's very convenient to your own argument or your own agenda. To me, your argument here is just very weak. So I'm sorry, guys, but I had to call you out on this. Milwaukee Paranormal, I ain't got a problem with you guys like as people. You might be really nice people, all right? I'm not attacking you personally as people. Please understand, I'm not. But I will go after your arguments, and I will go after them aggressively. But I will say this. I did agree with your point on the speaker, and in this whole video, which I'm not even going to go to, like, you know, the EVP or the EMF or whatever, I've shared my thoughts on that before, and like apps, don't even get me started, you know, I fully agree with what you said on apps, you know, for entertainment purposes, yes, I fully agree, but, you know, this is just something to put the word out there, to actually show there is a different side to this, and there's actually a contrast in opinion and sessions to prove otherwise, okay? So I don't have a problem with you as people, but if there's something in the paranormal which I feel can be called out or debated, I will call it out. So thank you very much, guys, and thank you to anybody who watched me moan for a little bit and saw my best Simon Miller impression. Why? Here's why. So anyway, have a good night, guys, or day, whatever time you're watching this. I'll see you next time.
All time.